know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
BetOnline.AG is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL, right to UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code, that's BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing, buddy?
What's up, my brother? What's going on, man? How is the European tour going? You know, where you at now these days? I know you're traveling around Europe. You know, you're meeting everybody. You text me that you see somebody from Kentucky, of all places. And, we get around, though. You know, part of the bluegrass Kentuckians do get out there. We do get around.
Yes, they do. So right now I am in Austria, in the home of Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're in Vienna right now. I had my first Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know how many Austrian fans we have, but I'll say Wiener Schnitzel. I think people like saying it more than they like eating it, because I wasn't a big fan, JD. I'm not, maybe I had bad Wiener Schnitzel, but it just wasn't. It was,
oh,
nah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, it's like anything else. Is all Venus Switchel cannot be the same. Is it like regional? Is there a better place to go to get some of that schnitzel than somewhere else? Like almost like barbecue here, right? In the States. So, is it barbecue you might get from like Missouri or Texas, North Carolina, Kentucky, things like that. So do they do it better somewhere else in Austria, in certain areas? Or did they send you to the best place? Let me ask you that.
I don't know if it was the best place for Wiener Schnitzel, but Wiener Schnitzel itself is a Vienna thing. So like in the city of Vienna, that's their thing.
Okay.
So it was more like, we're at a Austrian pub. Let's see what they have for food. Wiener Schnitzel is like their number one thing on the menu. So we were like, okay, you're in the city of Vienna, they can't go wrong. So, but we say that, but I'm sure people can go to Philadelphia and they can go to Kansas City and find barbecue that's not good, or a Philly cheesesteak that's not good. So I'm sure not every place does it right,
Right. That's kind of what I was asking. Pretty much is you didn't go down to to Hans' place, and Hans got like one of the worst Venus Switchels in Vienna. Look out, man! You don't make a good Venus Switchel anyway. Yeah. I'm gonna send you something over here to go get some of that. So.
Yeah. One thing I will say, so last week before we did our show, we hadn't had my brother's wedding yet. I just want to let all our viewers know I did the best man speech with a translator right next to me, and I killed it, knocked it out of the park. People were loving it. People were laughing. I think next time I have a translator, I think I need to kind of go over where I do my breaks when I speak, because that was tough. That was a tough task.
I told you he's gonna kill it, though. I said, man, look, you're gonna do well. It's all about the translation, right? It's all about the comedic part and timing that you get. So did you have like little jokes, little stories in between all of that, or what?
Yeah, because I think people were just caught off guard by because the wedding kind of was an hour late, because they were trying to mix in all the photos and stuff, and the photos lasted a long time because the person who came in to do the makeup for the bridesmaids and the hair of the bridesmaids took a long time. So pictures were pushed, and then so the wedding was pushed. So I was making like punctuality jokes because my brother and my sister-in-law are known not to be the most punctual people, but
The
also,
Dorsey rate. Yeah.
yeah. So I was making jokes about that. Just made jokes about like the first time I heard about my sister-in-law. It was when I graduated college. We did like a family cruise together, and my brother was always like, when we get back to the room, he was on the phone with her like a little teenager. The guy was like a 32-year-old man. And he was like on the phone with her like a little teenager every night for like a couple hours and stuff, like 5 in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah. Well,
The-
so that means he was fond of her then. That's
yeah.
right.
And
Yeah,
my,
it
and my
can't
bro,
be.
he's a very private guy too. So like having that whole, because that's how I found out that he had a girlfriend. My mom was like, "Oh, I think Teja's seeing someone." I'm like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that. He didn't tell me that." And then like we had my cruise, and then I see him on the phone with this girl, and then it turns out to be his future wife, that was really funny. People enjoyed that little story.
He over on the corner mumbling like, and he's like, "Who you mumble? What you saying over there? What you mumbling about? Leave me alone. I'm talking to a nice young lady." Okay. Is he?
Yeah, the story I didn't tell with that was on that same trip. It was it was one of the last nights of the cruise. I came back one night just really really trashed, and I was seeing. I think it was one of the nights where the boat was kind of rocking a little bit, so I was kind of like seeing spins.
Yeah.
Let's just say I really had a bad night by the toilet, and he was FaceTiming her, and he like flipped the phone and like showed me like yakking in the toilet to
Oh,
his future wife. So I almost told that story. I was like, I'm not gonna let people know that happened to me. So this is, but instead I'll share it on our podcast instead of telling the people of Hungary about that.
oh man.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, that was my first encounter with her. And so I think she enjoyed it because I don't think she even knew that's how I found out about her being his better half. So
Oh, wow. It's funny. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, so it's been a great trip, but I am looking forward to being back in the States. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing our show at our normal time from the East Coast aspect. So I thank you for helping me out for the last few weeks and doing the show a little bit early, man.
And my brother, hey, look, it's my pleasure. So hey, I know my brother wants to get some sleep, some rest. You've been all over the place, man, and I'm glad you've been able to get there and get that experience. So
I
yeah,
appreciate it, man.
yeah, for sure.
Also another thing, I have a great tan now from doing all this walking in Europe. So your boys bronze. You can't see because I got a light shining on me, but your boys
Yeah,
bronze to a crisp. Mwah.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, a lot's going on. A decent amount of stuff's been going on in the Chiefs world. We're gonna get right into it with our first topic tonight. This is one I thought was really interesting, JD, and I want to hear your take on this.
Okay.
All our topics were interesting tonight, but this one's specifically interesting. So this past week, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce was on Barstool Sports' Pardon My Take podcast, where he was confronted about playing too soft at times. Highlighting that he tries to avoid defenders instead of running right through them. And Kelce actually agreed with that take that he sometimes tends to be on the soft side when it comes to trucking defenders. Is what they're really specifically talking about, trucking defenders.
Okay.
So JD, I have a different opinion on this, and I know this is Kelce even said it about himself.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting about this. It's not just some random person saying he's soft. The fact that he agreed with it. So my
Uh-huh.
question is, do you agree with Kelce's critique of himself, or do you think he's not soft but more smart?
Oh, absolutely. Look, I think he's more smart about it. I don't think he's soft at all. I've always said that. I always said that Travis is like the rubber band man, right? Like you never get a full hit on Travis, and he's very elusive. And the thing is, he don't need to run over anybody, unless it's for the first down or something that he needs to lower his shoulder and get over a guy. Cool. Other than that, what's the point of it? I look at it like this: it's a business decision, right? Part of this being elite in this game is longevity, and so he's been playing at a high level for a number of years, and a lot of it has to do with his health. And so, if he's avoiding these hits, I wouldn't say it's soft, but it's business savvy. I mean, to me, that it just makes sense. It makes sense. And yeah, you might jab the guy for being soft. He could say, "Look, man, I agree with you. But guess what? I'm still cooking these guys, over, year 9 and 10, of catching these balls on these jokers. They still can't catch me. And so he's just been showing what he can do as an elite tight end. But he's one of the best in the business as far as yards at the catch. And so if you need to break through 3 or 4 guys and make some extra yards, he'll do it when it's necessary. But as far as like trying to find, some type of hits or physicality out there, trying to find, all type of the battering rams, you don't need to do that. Travis don't need to do it, man. He's been doing an incredible job all this time, and he should stay with that. It keeps him in the league longer. It keeps him on the field longer. It keeps him healthy, and it keeps him, upright and making sure he's killing defenses. So yeah, man. I mean, they might, rib him a little bit. Oh man, you're being soft. To me, I don't think it's soft at all. I think it's a smart play. I think it's a smart man making a business decision about his career, and it's on display.
And I believe he led the league in yak last year. Not just tight ends, receivers too, running backs. You could name everybody in there. He led the league in yak last year. So,
hello, right. So if he's leading the league in yak yards, you could call me whatever you want to call me, right? I tell you what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna call him number 1 in yak. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yak on that then. I'm number 1. I'm the number 1 yak guy. So make sure you put a little bit of respect behind my name now when you say that. Okay. So now I just think, man, that's just it's business savvy. Matter of fact, I'll give you a story. He was playing Dallas one time, and Deion Sanders was a corner. This is when I was up in Philly. And so I catch the ball. Deion's on the outside. I'm running right at Deion. And I'm ready to truck Deion. I'm like, I'm ready to run over Prime. And I go lower my shoulder. Deion steps out of the way. Like literally steps out of the way. And like lets me pass by him. And then he kind of like just grabs me for my legs from behind. He's like, he got up. He's like, oh, no, big fella. No, big fella. I ain't ready. You thought you was going to hit? I said, nah. I see, you didn't want none of that. He said, nah, man, it's a business decision. I ain't ready to do that, Dunn. It's a business decision. And I was just like, you know what? Makes a lot of sense. That's why you're trying. That's why you're playing for a long time at a high level.
Yep.
Because you're making some choices and decisions that's going to make sure that you're going to be primed for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I get that. That's the bravado and the toughness that sometimes you want to see, the physicality in football. But the reality is, you know what? Hey, if a guy is able to be effective and be, when I'm telling you, just a terror running the football, man, be that. Shoot, some guys like I didn't mind the physical part of football. I don't mind running over a guy. I don't mind doing that. Now, look, I could get on my toes and get around a guy if I needed to as well. And sometimes they might expect that hit to happen. But then, you know what? Hey, and now I might just run around you. So I think, man, it depends on a guy's game. His game is more elusive. His game's a little bit more savvy. His game's a little bit more, I want to say, swanky in doing things, right? He's got a little bit more, I'm trying to think of what my boy used to call it.
Sauce?
Saucy. You can pay saucy. We'll use saucy. Saucy is a good one, okay? So definitely. I mean, he has all of that to his game, man. But the physicality come out when it needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also think it's kind of like a very elementary way of looking at it. It's like, you don't truck defenders. I mean, it's ridiculous. What are we playing Madden here? You're to highlight the truck stick. I mean, what? The guy is playing an elite level at such a an older age for a tight end, and the numbers he's putting up right now, it's ridiculous. And he hasn't really had any major injuries. So like, obviously, whatever he's doing is working. Who cares if he's trucking defenders, if he's getting body slammed by Derwin James? Look what he's doing. Look at the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah, man. I think that's just part of the phase of football, right? That people want to see the hard hits. They want to see a guy like this trucking guys. You're a big tight end. You're 6'3", 6'4", 250 something pounds. How come you're not running over defenders? Because I don't need to. How about that? How about I show you a different element to my game as opposed to running over guys. Now, like I said, if he needs to pull it out of the bag, he's got it. So don't sleep on him. If you think he's just going to run around you every time, then you go get caught. And if he catch you slipping, then you're going to be on ESPN one of them days looking silly, being ran over by 8-7. So don't catch his joke and slipping now. Hey, he'll run over you if he needs to.
And it isn't funny too. Because also we've talked about before, an underrated part of Travis's game is his blocking ability. No one really ever talks about that. But it's funny though, like we're talking about softness or toughness from a tight end, but we're talking about trucking defenders. We're not even talking about the blocking aspect of game. I mean, like we're going to talk about a person who's soft or not when it comes to being a tight end. I think we need to talk about the blocking, not trucking defenders. Because I mean, how often are we really seeing tight ends truck defenders that often these days? You don't really see that much anymore, anyways.
No, I mean you get it from some guys. Kittle, he'll run over some guys, but guys want to try to get yak yards. I mean, I think now where kind of during my time, it was that toughness. It was on the shoulder, running over guys, giving them the boom. But now where the guys are a little bit more, like I said, a little bit more elusive, they're athletic. You can run around a guy, or just we gonna shake him out of your shoes. To me, that's impressive. I'd rather see a guy shake him out of his shoes, and he's been doing plenty of that. So some of the moves he's making, I'm like, ooh, wee. I said, look at you. I see you, 8-7. Keep doing them up, Trav. Keep doing them up. So I love that. I love that part of the game, because it's something that we need to see a little bit more from tight ends than, the whole just, big blundering guys that you may see, right? Nah, shoot. Trav, he's got a little bit more swag to him than that.
Yeah. So consensus, Travis Kelce is smart, not soft.
He's smart, man. Savvy, so.
So last week we talked about the whole Jamar Chase, Patrick Mahomes little thing, little pettiness. Things kind of got a little more. Some are saying it's not throwing shade. Some Chief fans are pissed off about the comments were made by Orlando Brown Jr., former left tackle for the Chiefs. So it's safe to say whether it is shade or not, because he's wearing the Bengals jersey now, people are just going to right away take it as Orlando Brown has joined the dark side and he's throwing shade at Patrick Mahomes and the offense. So earlier this week, Orlando Brown was talking about blocking for Joe Burrow, and this is what he said. Quote, now as opposed to having to play in a lot more space with guys on my edge, guys have got to rush through me because Joe isn't necessarily at 12.5 on certain drops. He's going to be at 7.5 getting the ball out. So my question is to this, JD, we talked about this before. You talked about it all the time last year about how, Orlando Brown's actually doing a solid job. It's just that he's got to protect for a long time, and these are really deep drops. And I think this is more of a problem 2 years ago, not so much this past year, because I think Patrick kind of tightened that up with this game, not dropping back as far, but still happened. Do you think this is a fair assessment, or would you consider this a diss at Patrick Mahomes when Orlando Brown talks about the differences between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes' drops?
No, I don't think it's a diss at Patrick Mahomes at all. It just, when guys, because offenses are geared differently, right, for different quarterbacks and different players. But Orlando Brown knew what type of space, and you got to know that, especially when you're blocking, who you're blocking for. And that's not necessarily a dig at a guy. It's just knowing your personnel. So his personnel knowing Patrick is Patrick, and I've said this, like I said, we said this before, and I'll say it again. Patrick Mahomes drops back further than every other quarterback in the league. Okay? And so that would put Orlando out there in space, exposed even more. That's just reality there. That's the truth. And so a lot of people didn't really see that. They couldn't quite understand that and comprehend exactly what I was talking about. They just think, oh, well, you're supposed to do your job. Well, shoot. It would be easier if a quarterback is more of a pocket passer, if he's going from under center, if he is dropping at 7 yards to 10 yards, that will make it easier on the tackle, no doubt about it. And nobody will dispute that. I especially somebody who's played the game, somebody who's played tackle or guard or anything else, it's going to be easier. And so, I think he's just kind of making a point of just knowing where the quarterback sits. And like I said, he's not saying anything about Patrick, like, oh, man, he just made it tougher. No, it's just this is how our offense is geared. It's almost the same thing, like if a guy is in an offense where you might run zone as opposed to coming downhill and you just running man, schemes on doing things, right? And so if you're doing a lot more, downhill running, blocking as opposed to getting to the outside and stretches and sweeps and stuff, then it's different. And so you just got to know that. You got to know that as a blocker, as a tackle, as a guard, tight end, whoever it is that's out there, you got to know your personnel. It's no different when I look at maybe a return guy. Dante Hall, return guy. Dante Hall could be anywhere on the field. That's why you always got to keep your block going, because you never know where Dante was going to be. He'll cut back, he'll cut left, he'll cut right, because he's creating things. And so your thing in your head is, let's just keep blocking. Matter of fact, I'm not going to give up on this play. Where a guy might look like he's going to go get Dante, you know Dante's going to bring it back to you. And so these things would make it easier, but you just had to know your personnel. You had to know who you're blocking for. And so you might have a different returner that was just straight up field. With this guy, he ain't going to get as many yards as Dante. So that's why that's why that comparison is always knowing who you got or who you blocking for, knowing the personnel and the scheme that you're blocking for. So no, it's not a dig at Patrick, not at all. I just think it's just the offense that he's in right now.
Yeah, I tend to agree with what you're saying. I did see some Chief fans. I mean, some Chief fans brought up some good points. A lot of Chief fans are saying, "Oh, he's kind of making excuses for himself as to why he gave up so many pressures to Patrick because it was harder to block for him and stuff, and he's trying to make excuses on how he's going to do even better this year because Joe Burrow, doesn't drop back as far as Patrick Mahomes. So he's trying to make excuses for his play with Patrick Mahomes. Do you see that or no?
No, I wouldn't say it because it would be a cop out. I don't think he's copping out at anything. Fans look at it as one way because to them, if you're not doing your job, then you're not doing your job. If you're getting beat, then you're getting beat. And that's all they see. But they may not know that, the junction point where tackle should be meeting the defensive end with the different offense based off the set, maybe 2 yards sooner than what he does with Joe Burrow, right? And so that's the difference of it. And so when you know these things, that's why I wasn't necessarily as critical of him and his play. Not saying that he couldn't do his job, and that's what you get paid for. This is the offense that you're in, so you got to adjust to those things, especially left tackle, right? Because he went from right, he'd go to left, so he had to adjust to those things. But you still look for a guy to do his job, and he knows that. But I think he's just making a point of a reality also too. Okay, and so there's no getting past that of knowing that this is what you have to deal with, and so he's. I don't think he's copping out at all. But I think, obviously what ends up happening. People start showing videos, him getting beat, him falling on the ground, all these different things, right? I think that's kind of like they try to own him in those videos, right? The critical of his play, like, oh, you weren't worked and you ain't, well, shoot. Maybe, is he the right fit for our scheme or he's trying to run? So that's the question. I will say this, okay, and just kind of finishing this up. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see what it's going to look like after this year with Joe Burrow. Okay, so we see that there's more pressures or same amount of hurries and sacks. Then we're going to say, well, your theory is all all BS because you was getting beat the same. But like I said, we have to wait and see and find out. We have to wait and see and find out, right? So that's the difference. The difference is what he's saying. Will that be? Would that be? I guess a point after this year. Plus another thing, passes. How many passes are they going to be throwing? Right. That's another thing too. The number of passes they're giving in the game. So yeah, there's ways to measure this. I'm sure PFF will do it and look at what it's going to be. So yeah, now.
Yeah, and also too, I feel like in watching a lot of these Bengals games, fly in here. I feel like watching a lot of these Bengals games, it's kind of like it's more like he gets a ball out fast. I mean, I know there's certain points last year we did do that. We kind of went into the kind of rhythm when we were going fast, but they kind of get the ball. It's like 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out. So I feel like, based on what we've seen, I mean, based on when Patrick holds a ball a long time, scrambling around, like kind of like that Dante Hall comparison is a great comparison. But like, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if he does excel this year and he doesn't have as many pressures as he does, i.e. not having as many pass attempts And if they get the ball out fast. Burrow gets the ball out pretty quickly. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen this year.
You look, I wouldn't be surprised either if it does happen. And if it does, then so be it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's still in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
None of this matters right now at this moment. So
True.
we can say whatever, and everybody can be upset. And look, Orlando Brown Jr. is in Cincinnati. Okay, we got Jawan Taylor over here. Okay, that's the deal. We got Donovan Smith. He's over here too. So that everything transpired to, I guess, how it was supposed to transpire.
Yeah.
We'll have to see with this offense, with these guys, the new guys that's in here, to see exactly what's going to happen with their numbers as well. But Patrick Mahomes, look, Joe Burrow is not elusive as Patrick Mahomes either. Patrick Mahomes is an underrated runner with the football as a quarterback. I think it's one of his strong suits. And you know what? He made a lot of guys look silly. He extended a lot of plays with his legs. That's the deal. What you have to deal with, man. That's the beauty of it. You know, we got a magician back there who's making plays, and he can do it with his legs. Yeah, we're gonna call on you to do some things that you ain't used to doing. Okay, but you better get ready. You better buckle up. Okay, because it's coming. Be ready and be prepared.
Yeah, looking forward to that matchup. And I wonder what other kind of stuff happens this offseason up until the leading up of that late season matchup, because with the fact that this is something that people are trying to make a thing, the Jamar Chase thing last week, so this is only going to continue to grow as the season gets up, especially if these are the two top teams based on seeding wise by the time we get to that game later on in the season. Look,
let's be honest. You know, because the thing is, obviously everybody's going to have their eyes on it, and the boos and all that's going to come out. But you always see us when a guy leaves, especially now, leaves from a team, there's always going to be criticism. Okay, people's going to nitpick at every little thing that somebody does, and it comes out, and there's always this is the whole social media type of world we live in, right? Yeah. So I don't care. Heck, if you had 3 hot dogs instead of 2, they're gonna be like, oh man, he's getting fat and all that. Man, it's gonna be critical of every little thing. So be it.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And it's also a guy who Orlando Brown did get a lot of flack from the Chiefs fans anyways. Now you're going to a big rival of the Chiefs. So like it's only going to add to the Orlando Brown hate. And I won't be surprised if we see if he has a few bad games during the regular season, or if he's having a good season, if people are getting sacks on Orlando Brown's side, we'll be seeing Chief fans posting videos of it all the time. So this is not going to go anywhere, this hate.
Listen, Orlando Brown Jr., hey, it happened with Tyreek Hill. Hey, it's going to happen with Frank Clark, right?
Yep.
People jump all over Frank Clark going to the Broncos like, hey, congratulations on getting the guy that's not getting sacks. Y'all never make the playoffs, so you won't see how many sacks he's going to get. I'm like, are you for real? So it's going to be that, man. That's all right. That's okay.
It's a love-hate world, JD, and it's especially a love-hate world in the NFL world.
Yeah. So you go, boo, oh, you terrible, oh, you trash. So you see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Right?
So a list, I know it's off season, so you got these certain lists that come out. You have these NFL writers compiling all these lists and stuff. But longtime USA Today NFL writer Doug Farrar released his top NFL slot defender list, and he had our guy L'Jarius Sneed as the 6th best slot defender in the league. Ironically, Sneed played his second lowest percentage of snaps from the slot this past year in 2022. So Farrar wrote in his ranking write-up, Sneed has always been a prominent presence in the slot for the Chiefs, and in 2022, he gave up 51 catches on 64 slot targets for 417 yards, 273 yards after the catch, 2 touchdowns, 4 pass breakups, and an opponent passer rating of 97.7. With Sneed, you have to start with his slot blitzing ability because that's always been a big plus in his palette. Last season, he amassed 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, and 13 quarterback hurries when pressing quarterbacks from the slot. And that doesn't count this denial of a Russell Wilson pass in Week 14. He also posted a clip of it in the write-up. Obviously, playing his lowest number of snaps from the slot this past year. So, and we know he's a Swiss Army knife. The guy plays all over the field: cornerback, safety, in the box, outside the box, slot, nickel. He does it all. Right. But what do you think about this specific ranking of him being sixth. Because I've seen some Chief fans say, "Oh, he's top 3 slot defender," but I think he's more than just a slot defender. So I think people are just coming at this ranking from a specific of slot. But I think he means more than this. This is why I think he's going to get paid so much in the open market, whether it's with us or somebody else. I think he's much more than just a slot defender.
Well, I think you just said it all. I mean, he's much more than a slot defender. I mean, if that was all he did, then so be it. But Sneed can play anything. He can play everywhere, and so I think that's his versatility is really his currency. To be honest with you, when you have a guy that can do that, man, what team would not want that? And if you put him 6th ranked out of everybody, and this is his lowest ranking as far as like numbers on the slots, man, shoot, I'll take it all day. So obviously, guys, this is opinionated, and when you rank them, it's going to be based off how many guys, how many snaps were taken from the slot defenders, and who were the top ones that did it. Right? You can't leave Sneed out. You just can't. If you've been watching football, at least if you've been watching the Chiefs, you've been seeing what type of job he's been doing, especially against all these guys out here, especially against all these wide receivers that play slot. He's been locking these jokers down, man. He's been playing some good ball against these slot receivers, playing some really good ball. And so, yeah, man, okay. That's what he wants to say. But I think, man, Sneed, because of his versatility, his diversity, what he can do, is his currency. That's his value, man. That's why I love Sneed at. So, yeah, you could have him ranked 6. Others have him top 3. He might be anywhere in between that. But from what I see, man, he's playing good ball in the slot. So that's all I need because he's playing solid at that position on our team. Wouldn't want nobody else doing it better than him. Like you said, and coming off the edge, with the blitzes and stuff too. I mean, come on. He's made some key plays in games. I just remember him going back there. He'd be that close. I'm like, oh, get him, Sneed. And he comes clean. He's got great timing. He has great timing coming off that slot. Because if a quarterback sees you, he knows get that ball out right now. We call it hot right now. I mean, it's already built in. But that's why, like that, having that type of that feel to know when to come, not to for a quarterback to see you coming. Okay, giving any indication, that's another skill set. So, man, he's one of the top slot defenders in the league, no doubt to me. So.
It's also too something with somebody who's always around the ball. Like throughout any Chief game you watch when our defense is out in the field, every time there's a tackle or pass intended for, you see 38 on that side. If somehow he's always around the ball, somehow he's always there, which is it's telling you something. That's that's IQ or his reads are just on. I mean, he's always around the ball, and that's got to account for something too. I mean, that's got to account. Forget the play on the field; it's just intelligence.
It is, and having high IQ, especially at slot, is very. I mean, that's what you need. It's tough to do. These guys can go anywhere, right? I mean, when you're on the outside, you can kind of divvy up where guys go in zones and whatnot. You come in that slot guy, just being in space. You got to kind of know, where everybody is. You got to have that feel. You got to have that IQ, and he does a very good job of it. But that, like I said before, I think that's what, that creates his value because he can travel. He can put there on slot. He could he could go against anybody, a tight end, running back. It doesn't matter. And so when you have a guy that has that ability, come on, man. I don't know any team that doesn't want that guy. Because it means you don't have to get other guys to do other different things and stuff like that. Well, shoot, who's going to cover the tight end? Sneed's got him. Who's got this going? Sneed's got him. Who's got this right? Sneed's got him. Who's got the right? Sneed's got him. Real simple. And I know if I'm in a defensive meeting, okay, and Spags is sitting over here saying, well, we know, hey, Sneed, you got this guy, right? You got him this week. You got him this week. So he's wearing, the hat, practically every week to cover the guys. So that's beautiful. It's a beautiful position to be in, man. He does a tremendous job of doing that.
For a guy that's so versatile who plays all over the field, how do when it comes to contract talks, obviously his agent's going to say, yeah, he's a cornerback. You're going to pay him like a top cornerback would be paid, right? But he's not really traditionally used like a traditional Jalen Ramsey type cornerback. He's, like we said, he's a Swiss Army knife. He plays all over the field. He plays outside the box. He can play safety at times. He, slot. So and slot cornerbacks aren't getting paid top dollar. But the fact that we play him so much, How, I mean, I don't know. You've been in these agent talks before, but like, because everyone's anticipating him having a big contract next year. But how does a guy like that get paid like handsomely, like a Jalen Ramsey type would?
Yeah, I mean, but that's it, because that's athletically he can do pretty much whatever what Ramsey can do. That's what you look at. You look at those things. And so, can he cover your best man? Yes. Can he cover the slot guy? Yes. Can he cover your best tight end coming out who's catching 100 balls? Yes. He do all those things. And so I think that's where it creates his value, because not only is just a corner, but he can do all these other stuff. And I've always said this, and I keep saying this: the more you can do, the better off you're going to be. That's what you do. And so he's created that niche for him, for that market, is saying, like you said, a Swiss Army knife. He is so deadly in covering guys. He can do it anywhere on the field. And you know what? You ain't got to go pay 2 or 3 different guys to do this. You got this one guy that can do it all. So, shoot, this is the guy that you want on your defense.
Yeah, and I think I believe he was a 4th round pick out of La Tech. So like,
La Tech, baby, La Tech. I think it's old Rofe place.
yeah,
Big Rofe.
that's a rough one. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
some ballers down there.
they do.
Yeah.
And I think it's also for people a lot of people who think that when we drafted Shamari Connor, that L'Jarius Sneed is gone. When Mahomes was asked about his contract question about him making more money, let's not forget he specifically named L'Jarius Sneed as to one of the reasons why he doesn't want to take all that money. So like, let's don't discount that, because there's a reason why he mentioned him, and there's a reason why we're talking about this guy as kind of really can't quantify his value on the field, because he does so much for the defense. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind with all those people who think we're going to trade him next year for a 2nd and 3rd round pick.
I don't know.
That's a next year problem.
That's next year. I'm just saying, hey, that's Veach. That's his domain to deal with those stuff. We don't know. So look, we know, because of the contracts and how everything is going, with Chris and all these different things, we don't know. But we know he has value, man. He's a very important part of what we do defensively.
It's true.
Shoot, and like anything else, you got the young guys watching him to see what he does. It's like, okay, who else? Because it's just what teams do. Who else can do what Sneed does? Right? Let's try somebody else there and see what is he as effective as Sneed? We can get him cheaper. So this is football, man. This is how football works. But I know what the thing is. If he's not here, and I don't see a reason why he's not, other than the contract talks or whatever, a team will be getting a very, very good player. So one of the top in the league. So, and he should get paid. He should get paid that money, because he's right up there, man. He's right up there.
Yeah. If you ask some Chief fans, they would say Shamari Connor can do what L'Jarius Sneed's done, and Shamari Connor hasn't even played in the league yet. So, yeah, we drafted Connor to be his replacement. We don't even know if the guy's going to make the team. We're talking about replacing Sneed next year.
Right.
Oh man. Well, look at his makeup. His body makeup is exactly like Sneed's. Relax.
I don't mean nothing at all. Okay.
Yeah, I play ball with some guys who had great measurables, but I don't think they've ever played on Saturdays.
Right. Shoot. You have measurables like James Brown, don't mean you can move like him.
Exactly. It's a good one. Oh man. All right, so we're gonna go to our final topic here before we end the show. So the Chiefs are officially the biggest ticket in town, any and every town across the United States. According to data from Ticket Smarter, the average Chiefs ticket prices on the resale market are the highest in the NFL at $577. That's up $200 over last season, when the average ticket for a game in Kansas City cost $371.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's getting up there, man. Some people are saying inflation. Some people are just saying just the Patrick Mahomes, the Patrick Mahomesation. So my question to you, JD, just a fun and funny topic here. What's more shocking to you, the cost of these tickets, or the Chiefs being the hottest ticket in the whole wide world, or the whole wide United States?
Obviously it's the cost. You know, it is absolutely the cost for a ticket. Wow. Woo, man. Yo, listen. Hey, look. Uh, resale value and people taking it. Oh, it's inflation. Use inflation for everything. I was telling somebody the other day they trying to offset all the prices and the costs onto the consumers. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, at inflation is supposed to do it. It's funny because I had my grandson was over here the other day, and so we was going to watch a movie, and so he wrote a sign. He put a sign up. Avery and Papa's movie theater to get in costs you $2. Okay, and so obviously I'm talking to him like, yeah, like everybody who comes in to watch this movie, it's going to cost them $2 to get in here to watch it. So he's like, yeah, $2 to get in. So obviously, my wife and my daughters, and they coming in like, oh, what do you like? You charging $2? I'm like, yeah. And of course, we like, look, we're gonna provide you popcorn, we're gonna provide you a drink, we're gonna provide you all the different things that you need. Okay. But you need to realize that inflation's hit. So that's why we charge you $2. We put all this stuff together ourselves. Okay. So if you want this, we're using our own products, inflation costs. My daughter just died laughing. But my grandson was serious about the $2, man. He wasn't playing with it. So I know, look, the cost of things, just getting back to what we were talking, the cost of it, that's astronomical, man. It really is. Uh, man, you just want people to be able to come and enjoy the games. You want them to enjoy the games. And people who's buying these tickets, reselling them for $500, man. Oh my gosh. Hey, I get everybody trying to make a butt, but man, God, yo, you hitting people over the head with that. 500 bills? I don't know, man. Just watch from the couch. But yeah, they're going to be the hottest ticket, no doubt about it. And like you said, that's going to be the Patrick Mahomes effect.
Yep.
Okay, it's going to be the Super Bowl winners champions effect. And like I said, everything is coming through KC, man. KC is we at the top of the mountaintop, man. We're at the pinnacle right now, and so that's just what it's going to be. Everybody wants to see the show. Everybody wants to see it because it's going to be a great show. Patrick's going to do something magical. Him and Kelce out there, and Chris Jones, all those guys. Man, it's going to be a great game. Anytime you see it, you never be disappointed. I haven't been disappointed in the Chiefs game in the last few years, and I don't think a lot of people could say that either. Everybody, obviously, because we're the antagonists, everybody wants to play us. They want to see us fail. They want to see us fall, and so they love to hate the Chiefs. But $550 a ticket or whatever you say, $500 something dollars, man, you make it expensive to do it.
Yeah, I made the joke when I saw this article. You have the greatest show on turf with the Rams, and now you got the most expensive show on turf with the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah. I just, you know what? If like I said, you're gonna have a good show. You want people to have a great time. You want people to enjoy the ambiance, the entire experience in Kansas City. You won't disappoint. And for some, $500 is reasonable to get that. I just don't want the if you will the little man to miss out on that experience. Okay, or somebody having to go broke to have a Chiefs experience. I want everybody to experience Arrowhead at a reasonable cost and price. $300 something dollars. Back then was kind of high, but now you want $550. You reselling it? Come on, man! Like it's getting out of hand. It really is. And I hate when people profit off of others. I hate when people profit like that. I get, society and whatnot, and capitalism. I get that part of it, man. But God, some of y'all jokers just taking advantage of this. Shame on y'all. Shame on you. So,
yeah, to go $200 from the average ticket in a year, that's insane. That's a lot. That's a lot of that's obviously a lot of money, but like the fact that's gone up that much in just a year, that's wild.
Right. I mean, shoot. Because it's not only that. It's not just the ticket. Is that paying for parking? Is that paying for all the stuff that you're getting, all the paraphernalia? Maybe hats and shirts and all those,
The
concessions.
the concessions that's where most teams really get you.
Yeah. And then if you want to try to take your family, I mean, it should never have to almost have you take out a loan or go on broke to experience going to Arrowhead. That's what I hate about it. I don't like that part of it. Okay. And people be upset with me all the time. Well, they have every right to. Yeah, everybody has every right. Does it make it right though? That's the question. Is that right? Does it make it correct? And so, somebody could charge anything for anything. And it's only as valuable as people willing to pay for it. And somebody's willing to pay for it. People that have the money, that's got the money, are willing to pay for it. But it just, like I said, it's taking a selective society out that's going to be able to have the chance to see it. They had a chance. So somebody might have been saving up, I know the Chiefs tickets around $300 something. I'm working on these hours to take my kids and my family, my wife there to see Arrowhead. And then you come finding out that they be selling today and took all the tickets, they sell them for $550.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Well, I'm sure some of the higher up seats. I mean, I'm sure those are going to be still,
Yeah, but
those will be there. The $60, $70 per ticket probably. The funny thing is, even that's expensive for nosebleed seats. Where you can have a great seat at home and your own bathroom, your own drinks. You don't have to to pay for the headaches of trying to find a parking spot, getting there so early to get a parking spot. I will say, I've been to Arrowhead. I've been to all these stadiums. I've seen my Sixers play in person. I'm a big home watcher. I love the convenience of it. I love being able to go to wherever I want to go to get my food. If I want to get a sub from a certain place, if I want to go get drinks from a certain place, I go to the bathroom when I want to. I can watch the game with my boxers and a jersey. I mean, you just so many things you can do at home. It's just, obviously it's the experience. Everyone should experience watching a game at Arrowhead. I'm not saying you shouldn't,
right.
But right. I do think there is a bit of there's an element of it's kind of overrated of going to a game to watch it. You don't. I just think there's more convenience to the at home aspect of things from a monetary point of view, and also just a overall just better viewpoint. You can watch other games when your game goes to commercial break. You're not braving it out in the cold. There's a lot of good to watching it at home, but I do agree with you. It is hurting a lot of the little man who does want to go to a Chiefs game with his family and stuff. Yeah, it does suck for those types of people.
Look, people working hard for their money, okay? And you want Americans, whoever's coming to the game, it don't matter. You want people to be able to go and enjoy the NFL experience. And you make it affordable in Kansas City, playing the Arrowhead or GH Stadium, right? That's another reason, but suckers probably up for a little bit. But that's another reason. But to me, you're paying for the experience. You're paying for all the, like I said, all the rock stuff out there, the fans walking around and all the hooping and the hollering and, all the community aspect of it and high-fiving everybody and, yelling cheese at the game and all that. So I get that part of it. Just, keep it affordable.
Yeah.
Keep it somewhat affordable, right? I mean, it was high to begin with, but keep it affordable. And look, I get it. Somebody, well, they got paid for these big contracts and all this stuff. Okay, listen. This is not to pay for the big contracts, okay? This is to pay for maybe somebody else's other things, right? For them to have a great time. And I get it. Capitalism is what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Free
market society. It's what this is. So I think it just kind of, for me, it just gives a sour taste because if somebody's doing it and sopping these things up for their own benefit. Yeah. Okay, they're not worried about all these other people and stuff like that out here. But man, to each their own. I just think, the people that have been waiting to have this experience, that now it's nullified because now they just cannot afford it. Can't afford it. Now you got to look to little Johnny like, hey man, with little Jason and Marcus, sorry, but Dad just can't afford it this time, son. I can't do it. Why, Dad? The tickets went up $200. I'm in my bag. I've been out here busting my tail to take you somewhere. And it just, and now you got to look at the puppy dog eyes and the crying and sobbing and all of that, right? And next thing you know, man, he putting on a wolf mask, robbing banks.
I did not think you're going there with that one.
I know I was going there, but I just,
That's good. Yeah, we laugh, but like, I mean, it is the sad reality for a lot of people out there. There are tricks, you know. So I was dogging the nosebleed seats. I've been there. I'm there a lot when it comes to if I just want to go see my teams play. But get the nosebleed seat, get to the game a little early, go down all the way to the front row. They don't check your seats at that point. Try to get some, try to high five the players. I mean, that's always, that's probably my favorite thing, is always going to the games and trying to talk to players, especially at away games, because I think you guys appreciate it even more at away games when you see Chief fans coming there to, like, have your guys' back. Obviously, you love the Arrowhead love, but the away games, you guys must have loved that.
Oh yeah. It's like, yeah, man, y'all travel, y'all get it, yeah, man, yeah. Oh, that's always a good time, always a great time. But I love what you were saying, because I didn't know that. It's good. That's good information and knowledge. Get down there early. Go down, shake some guys' hands if you can get down there. And so they don't check. You say they don't check?
They let people go because that's like really early. That's when the gate first opens up, so it's like really early when you guys are like just warming up and stuff. So like people can go all the way down to, like, where that little padding area is, and try to, like, get someone to sign something, or maybe a player will give them, would do whatever, throw a ball to like a kid or something like that. You do that, and then once, like, the stuff really gets going, then you have to at a certain point you have to get out of there to go up to your to wherever you're sitting, your section and stuff. Usually like the security there, they're like, fine, okay, you just go for it and stuff. They'll let you do that. Yeah, so that's usually that's a good trick for people who want to get a little taste of the close up seats. And then before you have to go back to the the far away seats and stuff. But yeah, it's but the few times I've been to Arrowhead, it's really just been it's so packed that it's really hard to even get in there that early to do that. But the away games I've been to, Pittsburgh and Washington, those are two games I was in. Miami, I was there to get there a little early to get to do that. So yeah, it can be done, but just that's the perks of having a nosebleed seat. But you find the loopholes.
But dude, you're gonna have all them jokers down there. The stadium's gonna be packed down there trying to get buy it's $60 tickets, for the nosebleeds. Like, we're gonna come down early, son. We're getting down here. So, good. That's good.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, this does it for my last show on international waters, at least for 2023. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. JD, I love you, brother. I want to say thank you for allowing us to see the gun show today on this episode.
Get these things out here, baby. Oh yeah. Yo, let me. Real quick. Two quick shouts. Okay. First, to my man, okay, Mike Davison, for sending me this beautiful book with Lamar Hunt, A Life in Sports. He sent this to me, man. So, Mike, for all your contributions and your stories you told and everything, y'all still gotta go see the whole the Chiefs Super Bowl trophies and everything, man, that they have of the history of the Chiefs, man. But Mike sent this to me, man. Mike, love you, man. Appreciate it, my brother. Incredible book. So definitely go on up on the shelf. One of my favorite ones. And Brett Tavo. This man right here sent through 2021 Kansas City Chiefs third down offense. Unpacking greatness. I cannot wait to get into this thing and check this thing out, man. So Brett Tavo. And I don't know if he still has some things available or not to send, but this looks like a good read, man. There's some incredible stuff, man. He's a coach. Brett, man, thank you so much for sending me this thing right here, man. So 2 shout-outs real quick. I just wanted to give just the love to them guys for the contributions, man, and sending me some gifts and stuff like that. So thank you. And so other than that, man, Marcus, listen, have a safe trip coming home, my brother, okay? Enjoy the rest of your time out there in Austria and take it all in. But, hey, man, Can't wait to see you back here, back in the States, my brother. All right.
Thanks, brother.
Bless.
Yeah, I'll be sending you photos as I get back. There's so many photos I've taken in the last few weeks. I was gonna it was one of the first. It was one of the first trips we went on. We were out in Spain. I was gonna send you. I was like, these 30 pictures. I'm not gonna bombard JD's Spain with that. I'll just wait till I'm done with the trip. Then I'll pick out the best from every spot, and I'll send your way.
Yeah, appreciate it. Love seeing it. So yeah, man. Traveling grace to you, brother. You and your family. Okay.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, and I'll also send you the clip of the my best man speech too. Get your approval on it, get your Rotten Tomatoes rating on it. But all right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoy the episode. Take it easy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.